Hi everyone, Lucy from Prismic here. So a few weeks ago we released the Slice Builder, which is an update to Slice Machine. And to celebrate that, we wanted to run a little contest. So it's a contest where you can win like either a PS5 or Shure SM7B. And to enter the contest, basically, all you have to do is to create a Slice library using the new tools that we released, and to share the storybook of your Slice library to actually like showcase your component to everyone. So here's an example of a storybook that you can make to share with it. So to help you enter this contest, we released two starters, one for Next.js for React people and one for Next.js for Next.js people. So following in this video, I use the Next.js starter, but React users, you can keep following because like the process is actually exactly the same to how to set up everything and to get up and running. So let's stay with me. So if you get to a starter, you end up like on a GitHub repository, of course, and you have like a huge comprehensive like README documentation that you can follow along, which is basically like what I said in this video. But if you prefer video, like stay with me as I start using this starter. So to use the starter, either you can fork the repository or you can use it as a template, which is a GitHub feature. So here we use it as a template. Using the repository as a template will create a copy on your GitHub account. So here I can just name it conveniently the way I'd like to. So for me, it will be Prismic demo slice contest. And I will create this repository. So this will create a copy of the starter on your GitHub account. And once it's done, boom, you already have the starter cloned on your GitHub account. What we want to do now is to clone this repository, so you can get to the code thing and copy the repository URL. And now we'll fire up a terminal and actually like clone this repository locally. There you go. So it clones my repository here. I jump inside it. No, not this one. There you go. Once you're in the repository, the first thing you want to do is to actually like install its dependencies. So I use Yarn for myself, but you can also use npm with npm install. So let's go with Yarn, and I'll see you after a while when everything is downloaded. Okay, here we go. All our dependencies has been installed, and this starters like conveniently provides to you the Prismic CLI script through npm package script, so you can use it with Yarn Prismic and then the command you wish to launch. Or with npm, it's similar. You can do npm run Prismic -- and then using like the command you wish to use, so -- version, for example. You can also use the CLI installed globally. Just if you do so, make sure that you are running the version 3.8.3-beta.0. Otherwise, you're after because it's not like the last version. So once we have installed everything in our repository, the first thing we want to do is to actually log in into Prismic. So I do yarn Prismic login. If you don't have yet a Prismic account, you can use the yarn Prismic sign up command, and it will guide you through creating a Prismic account. Because I already have one, I just log in here. Using the login command, the CLI will ask me to for my credentials, so I just like log in. Here we go. So I just log in, and then after login to Prismic, the second thing we want to do is to actually like bootstrap our Slice Machine project. To do so, I will launch the Prismic sm -- bootstrap command. And this will prompt me for repository name. So I will use the same name as my repository for convenience. And here we go. It just created for us a Prismic repository and registered it inside our Slice Machine configuration. Finally, we have one last step to finish the installation process of the starter. So it's actually like adding storybook to it. To do so, we provide a convenient add storybook command, which we'll launch now. And this will go through the process of detecting your framework, so either like Next or Next.js, and it will add like the required like storybook dependencies to have storybook in it. So once again, I will cut now and we will see each other once the storybook command has finished. Okay, so here we go again. Our storybook, our add storybook command just finished to launch, and when it did so, it launched a storybook tab on port 3003. If you get to this, like this means that you succeeded to get through the whole process, and that you are ready like to start developing your slice library using the starters that you picked. So great job, and now we'll have a look at creating our first slices together. So to create our first slices, what we need to do is to actually open another terminal, because we don't want yet to cut our storybook server running. So let me get it a bit bigger for you. In this new terminal window, we want to run the Prismic sm-create slice command. This command will guide you through creating a slices. So first it will prompt you in which directory you want to create these slices. So we call those directory libraries. So I just pick like the default directory, which is /slices, and I will create a slice name conveniently hello world. So as you can see, our storybook server detected change, and actually like it already like refreshed and show us like our really simple like bootstrap slice hello world that we just created. Now what we want to do is to actually launch the Prismic sm-develop command. This command will launch the new slice builder that we released on a port, which is just like a local app that you're running on localhost and that you can open on your browser. So it shouldn't take a while to launch, because it's not for running Webpack and other rules. So we can already like get to the port it's launching on. So it's port 9999. So it should launch quickly. And once it's launched, we should arrive on a page showing like all our slices that we have on our project. So here we go. As you can see, we have our hello world slices that we just created. It says that it contains an error, but just because it doesn't have yet a screenshot generated for it. So we can jump to it, and actually, if we want to, we can already like take a screenshot. It might fail at the first time, because I think it's like it wants like to run something that takes too long and runs into promised concurrency. So we can like just click another time to have it generated properly, and here we go. And it should be fine starting from then. You shouldn't have error. So what you can do like in the slice builder is to like shape your slices. So do the content modeling of your slices right locally, like right in this builder, so you don't have to jump back and forth of Prismic to do the content modeling of your slices. So by default, it only has like a title and a description, and we can, for example, add an image to it. So to do so, you can click on the plus to add it to the non-repeatable zone. Again, we use the same principle as in the writing room currently, so you can have like repeatable zone and non-repeatable zone. So let's create a slice, as we said, an image, excuse me. So we'll create an image, and we will just name it image. What you enter here is the API ID that you can then use inside your component. Once we created our image, we can hit Save to File System. This will update our model locally and provide like everything needed like to actually like keep working on this slice locally. So now that we added our image, we might want like to actually display it. So I'll open our code. Here we go. So I open my code. Let me zoom it a bit for you. Here we go. And inside the slices directory, remember this is the default like slice directory that we picked when we created a slice. So inside it, we can see that we have our hello world slices that we created. Inside this folder, you have multiple files. So the most interesting one is the index.view file. So in React, it will be index.js. And inside it, you can see that we have like a few fields, and it's actually like the view component code, like representing your slice inside your website. Next to it, you have like a stories.js file. This is like the stories that Storybook is showing of your slice. Then you have the model.json file. This is like the modeling of it, like what is needed for Prismic to actually generate like the document view for your content writer to enter content in it. Then you have a mock.json. This is something really interesting that Slice Machine is bringing to you. It's actually generating like fake content, so you don't have to get to Prismic, create a document, and then input like fake data in it to then have something to render while developing. And finally, it has the preview.png, which we just generated together before to have a preview for our component. So let's actually like get into the component for now. And as I said, I will just like display our image that we created together. So to do that, you can use like Prismic SDK, which are pre-installed on the starters, and you can have a Prismic image component and give it as a field as a slice.primary.image. This is the field that we created together. If you have any doubt, you can refer to the slice builder, and here you can see we have slice.primary.image. So this is like the key to access it inside the slice props that the component is receiving. So if I hit save now and I get to my storybook, I can see that we have like random images coming from Unsplash that was provided to us. So we can keep from now like creating like adding fields to it. For example, I can create like a link field, and I will name it like CTA link. And I can also create a key text one, which is just like a bare text, like without like a rich text behavior. So just a key text. And I will name it CTL label. Then I can again hit save model to file system. Here we go. As you can see, it updated our preview because every time you save, it updates the preview with the mocks that we generated. And here we go. If we get back to our component, we can use the new fields that we created. So we will use like a Prismic link, and we will give it the slice.primary.ctl link that we created together. Actually, let's have it neatly like that. And inside it, we can use like the slice.primary.ctl labels that again we just created. So now if I hit save and I get back to my component in Storybook, we can see that it should have added, actually not, but let me check. Prismic link. Perhaps I need to refresh. This is something like common Storybook. Here we go. Like as you can see, like it just started like with our key text with a dummy value, and if we click on it, it should redirect us to like a dummy link. So here slice machine.dev, why not? Here we go. So we can say that starting from here, like we are happy with our component code. So what we can do now, if we want like actually like we have like everything, like every data needed for this component to render. So now what we might want to do is to actually like spend some time doing some styling to it. And to do that, you perhaps like want to install like a CSS or something, a CSS library like Tailwind. So let's dive into it and install Tailwind together. So because we're installing something, we might want to cut our Storybook server because this might confuse it. So we just like use this terminal to add Tailwind. To do so, we'll just run yarn add Nuxt.js/Tailwind CSS, and we will save it inside the dev as a dev dependencies. So the @Nuxt.js/Tailwind CSS is the Nuxt.js module to add Tailwind CSS to your project. It's really convenient because it's a drop-in like solution to add Tailwind to the next project. If you want to add Sass, for example, you can add like Sass loader as well as not Sass to, for example, grant you access to Sass capability inside your project, just like you do with any normal regular Next project. This will work out of the box for a Storybook because thanks to @Nuxt.js/Storybook, it creates like a Storybook which is aware of your Nuxt.js configuration, so you don't have to dive into like complicated Webpack things and troubleshoot like things that you don't want to actually lose time when you're developing just a component library. So here we go. That was fast because we're just installing like Tailwind CSS with few dependencies. What we want to do now is to actually like finish the install by getting to @Nuxt.js, our Nuxt.js config file, scroll down to the build module section, and here we just enter @Nuxt.js/Tailwind CSS, and we will hit save. And now we can actually like start again our storybook server. So to do so, we will run the yarn storybook server. This will we should quickly enough start again like our storybook server. So we'll wait for it. And now we should have access to our Tailwind like superpower inside our next component. So we will let storybook spin. On the side, we can get to our component, and we will adjust like some few Tailwind like classes to make sure that it is running. So for example, I will just like add text blue, I think. I'm not sure of this one, like press blue for 100. We should make our text blue. There you go, so it opened again storybook, it's no big deal. So our text is not blue because I perhaps mess up with a class that I don't know, so perhaps we can try red. Oh, okay, I know. One thing you might want to do is because you are using Tailwind, you might want like to actually like get rid of the default style of the section, because as you can see here, we are overriding the blue or red color that I was trying to add. So we will get rid of that safely. We'll hit save again. And now, as you can see, we get rid of all the styles that was centering it and got our text be red actually. We can then add a lot of Tailwind goodness. So for example, I can add like a padding to everything, which will like either shrink our content even more. But actually, like, let's just say that I spent some time like actually like coding Tailwind. So I just like pass a snippet that should like format this those components like neatly. So this is up to you. Here I just like add a snippet ready for it. So just like not adding much, actually just few classes like to make a card and to have like a button for our CTA link and to style the image on the side and everything. So this is just like something like up to you that you have to spend time actually like doing some front end stuff. And here we go, as you can see here, like it updated my style already with all the classes that I added from Tailwind. And we can get back to our slice builder and to actually regenerate a preview to have like a much neater preview of my components. So there's still like one thing that we need like to address here is that as you can see, we added like a rich text. Well, we have like a rich text field for repurposed wireless portals, and this is just showing like 3 words, which is not like convenient because like we perhaps like want to showcase like more thing in our rich text field. What we can do to do that, well, this is because like our mock strategy is not like really like advanced for now, and we are currently working on bringing you like a way like to customize mock, like say like this rich text, I need like 3 paragraphs in it, or 2 paragraphs, or 1 paragraph and 1 title, anything like that. So we are working on bringing you that, but in the meantime, what you can do is to actually like overwrite mock.json by creating another file called custom mocks. This is just like an arbitrary name that I'm giving it, but you can give it like the name you'd like. And inside it, I will just like mimic the structure of the mocks.json thing. So it's an array containing an object, containing then the field, like for example, like primary. Then we'll have like title and the data of my mocks. So here again, I will create an array. I will just have an object inside it, add the primary key. I will add another object. So this is my primary object. Inside I have title, description, and everything. And this here, I want to override the mock at description. So I will provide another description key, and at this description key, I will add the value like of a rich text that I want to display. So again, here I went ahead and created like a rich text array, which is like a bit like hard to get right, but I will go basically just like an array of divs that you want to create. So you just have like a paragraph with some text to it and some spans to have something in bold and things like that. So I will save that. Then I will get to my storybook index stories.js. And here I can edit this file because this file just like created once when you create your component. So you can like add all the goodness that you want to it, like a lot of fancy things that Storybook allows you to do. So I will import another file, which is my custom mocks file. And what I want to do here is to actually like merge my custom mocks, because I just want to override like the description field with the mocks that we are provided by Slice Machine. So we still keep like generated mocks for component. So what I do here is to like actually just have a quick function that calls itself that returns like the merge mock. You can also like import like lodash default zip or something like that merge like two objects together, but I will just like do it manually here because that's more convenient to do. So what I do is to I create like a new mock, and inside it I will get my mocks. I will spread like the value inside my mocks.0. Here we go. And what I do then is to actually like I will just like replace like the values that I want to replace on it. So I will just like call like new mock dot primary dot description equal my custom mocks of 0 dot primary dot description. And what I do at the end, I just return my new mock. So if I don't mess up, this should be working. So I save, and I missed something, can't resolve custom mocks.json. Okay, so let's troubleshoot that. Okay, I created custom mocks.js. So actually I'll just rename it JSON. And here we go. As you can see, like it took into account like the rich text that I provided to him, and now we have a beautiful rich text. So once we did that, I'm happy with my styles. I'm happy with my screenshots that I can actually like just refresh to have like my new mock showing in it. Here we go. And once I'm happy with everything, what I want to do now is to actually like push my code to GitHub. Well, of course, like if you enter the contest, like you want to create like other slices, but here I'll just create one for the video. But once I'm happy with it, the last thing I want to do is to actually like deploy my storybook to Netlify or to Vercel. So to do so, I just like make a quick commit, which is which I will name like initial fit. There we go. So I just add the hello world slice. I will save. I will commit. Here we go. So if I get back to my GitHub, the repository that we created together, here we go. We can see that I got my new commit that was made. And now the last thing I need to do is to actually deploy it. So to do so, I will get to the deploying your storybook section of the documentation. So you can deploy either with Netlify, Vercel, or whatever you find to. Here is the documentation from Netlify that we will use. So I get to add.netlify.start. If you don't have a Netlify account, you might want to create one. So I get to GitHub. So it will authorize itself. And then I will just look for my repository to the Prismic things that we created together. There we go. So we'll pick Prismic demo slice contest. Then you can leave everything to default. We already pre-configured everything for you, and we can just hit deploy website. And here we go. This will deploy our website. It will take like a few minutes to install the dependency, build the storybook, and everything. So in the meanwhile that Netlify is building our website, the last thing I want to show you is to actually like, this is not part of the contest, but this is something that you might want to do, is to push your slices to Prismic to actually use them. So if we get back to the slice builder, you can hit like push slice to Prismic. This will like contact Prismic and push your slice model to Prismic. And once you did that, you can get to Prismic and get to the repositories that you created for this project. So here for me, it's Prismic demo slice content. I get inside it. By default, it will ask you for your main language. So I just keep the default one, which is English United States. And what the slice builder did is that it pushed your slice to Prismic, but you can't actually like use it right away by creating a document. What you need to do first is to get to your custom type section. Then inside then pick a custom types, because you have to add your slices to a custom type. So we get to the default page one. And as you can see, like our slice zone is empty. So what you can do is to click on add a slice, ignore the default like from slice machine tab, and get to the shared slice one. And here we go. As you can see, we have like the hello world slice that we created together. So I will just click to add to my custom types. And once I added like all the slices that I pushed to Prismic to it, I can hit save. And once it's saved, I can then like create a document and actually use this slice inside it, like right here. And as you can see, like we have like all the fields that we created together, the two default one like title and description, then the image one, the link, and the text one for this tier label. So this is the Prismic part. Let's have a look at how our Netlify build is doing. The first time it may take like a while, like up to 5 minutes, let's say, because it actually like needs to install first time like all the storybook dependency. Yeah, it's almost done apparently, so we will quickly like jump into like building it. So I will catch you once our build on Netlify is done. Okay, so here we go. It took like about like 4 minutes to build our storybook project. So what you can do now is to actually like get to the project and see your the storybook, which should look like exactly the same as the one we had locally. So it takes a while to load because like storybook is actually really heavy, but because it's a documentation thing, we don't care about performances here much. And here we go. As you can see here, this was something I was expected, but I messed up because actually like, because I was using Tailwind, it runs pure CSS, and because it runs pure CSS, it got rid of all my CSS. This is just like a Tailwind issue that you have to fix. Things I forgot to put in my document in my Nux configuration is when adding the Nux Tailwind CSS plugin, Nux module, I need like to extend the content, the purge content that Tailwind will look through when purging all the unused CSS to add my slice library. So I just added that now, and we can then push, and this time Netlify will build our storybook documentation taking into account like the styles that we added to it through Tailwind. So I catch you up like in a few minutes once it's built again. Okay, and here we go. This time, because it was a second deploy, it doesn't have to download all the dependencies, so it only took like 1 minute, which is great for us. And we can then get again back to our storybook, and this time it should have taken into account like all the stylings that we added through Tailwind. Again, like it takes a while to load because like it's storybook, but once it's loaded once, it's not an issue. And here we go, like we have like all the styles that we added through Tailwind. So this is it. To recap a bit on what we achieved, we cloned the starter, use it as a template together. Then we went through installing everything in it. So it's installing the npm dependencies. Then actually like logging into Prismic and bootstrapping the project and creating a repository at this time. Then we added Storybook to it, which opens Storybook on our browser. Finally, when developing, we created a slice called Hello World and added fields to it by launching the yarn prismic smdevelop command. We also pushed this slice to Prismic in order like to use it in a project actually, and we deployed our storybook to Netlify using like the really like included like configuration for it without worrying too much about it. We also added Tailwind and saw how to create custom hooks for our slices, which is something that you might be looking for when submitting your storybook to the project. And yeah, that's it. So this is it for this starter tutorials for the slice contest. We are really looking forward all the libraries that you will submit to us, and see you soon for our next event.